Rather just not have cops at all. The cops aren't stopping the crime. Our government's scamming us. We pay for a police force, and it's like we live in a police state and it's still not safe. The cops are not focusing on the crime. I could point you to the neighborhood where all the crime's happening. Like, go hang out there. Go patrol that area. But that's not what they do. They're out here handing speeding tickets out to middle-class, normal people on their way to work. I pay taxes for you to have a job, and then you don't make the place safe. You just like harass people on their way to work, handing out tickets to the only people that would even pay a ticket. The cops just aren't doing their jobs. They're avoiding doing their job, and they're just targeting people who they can leech more money off of. I do not appreciate cops handing out speeding tickets. That's where I have a problem. It's like, focus on the actual stuff. Right. There's actual real crime happening, and the cops are not focused on that.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. I just got to get through this hypocrisy. Defund the Suburban police, right? Here's an interesting thing. People, still play these games about crime and blaming every crime on the planet on Black America. And I know where it's at. You should go there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, this is what we're going to do. So, since we're going to play this game, let me take the veil off. You shouldn't police the people in the suburbs racing cars every weekend. You know they're racing cars every weekend. 100, 140, flying by the cops, 150, posting it on the internet. They're white, not a big deal. They're just trying to have a good old American fun. Why give them a ticket? And if you catch somebody speeding, just catch the black ones. They give them tickets. Yep. Everybody else, free to go. You see the plates in public. They got the little shield on them so you can't see the actual license plate. Let them go. But let's take it a little bit deeper than that. See, there's no crime in the suburbs. Contraire, mon frere. So the cops supposed to lead them little cook houses that the suburbs got along. Because, hey, they're in a nice suburban neighborhood and they're just cooking up dope and they're not bothering anybody and they're selling it to the neighbors and the people in the other suburbs and in the hood. And, hey, they're just making money, man. Yeah. Yeah. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Meth houses, fentanyl, y'all buying regular coke because, you really don't hear too many white drug dealers get caught up in crime, do you? But it's a whole bunch of white people on drugs. College age, high school to just grown as hell. Just doing dope. You remember when the actor died, was it Philip C. Hoffman? He OD'd, and then they made it like a national story, and we're going to find the exact drug dealer that sold him this bad stuff. It's like, whoa. Y'all breaking the code. Now, but that's not really crime. It's not crime. Mm-mm. All the theft that goes on, not a big deal. See, I like to blame it's the blacks and it's the blacks and it's the brown. I'm black, so I'm gonna bring up us. Y'all don't say nothing because it's not. You go to these like Home Depots, Lowe's, Harbor Freight. Go there and buy some stuff. They'll tell you about all the theft going on. You you go somewhere, the box ain't got everything in it. You're like, what the hell? Yeah. People buy stuff and then return it. It might be missing the batteries. It might be missing certain tools in it. It's like, hey, because people go in there, steal stuff or buy stuff and bring it back and steal the parts they really need out of it, and just call it a day. And they don't really check because it's predominantly people who are doing that, are white, Hispanic, and Asian, or predominantly white and Hispanic. But it's all good. It's theft all that time. And the WalMarts, Targets, Target, all that theft going on. Like, what about let me go back to the Home Depot. You know how they had those rings? Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it two different ways. People used to go in the home. White people used to go in the Home Depot in different states and steal and just walk out because nobody's paying attention because they white. And they had a ring of people doing this, and then they just sell the stuff on eBay. House like I remember, there's a house full of power tools that they just selling on eBay for profit. A whole from Colorado to Texas. You remember when they had that flash mob, and they was going to the stores in California, and they found out the couple that was behind it was white people. I think in California or something. It's all good. We don't need the police for that because it's not violent, right? It's not violent. Y'all talking about these Somalis scamming. I get it. What about all these? Who they learn them scams from? Cops don't never check. All of these white collar crimes, white collar scams, you don't need the police for that in the suburbs. They funding the suburban police. They don't need to know about that. You know, what is that? I don't know. It should still be on YouTube. There's a black man that he worked in the FBI or the DA, one of them. His nickname was Batman, and they were doing a lot of drug busts like in the '90s. And he said, "Man, why don't we just go get these kids in the suburbs too? Because this is where, because the plug has always been in the suburbs. Let's just be honest. The plug has always been in the suburbs. Because they get away with it. But it's okay. Same thing. Uh, you know, Suburban police look the other way a lot. There's a lot of break-ins in the suburbs. People break into houses all the time, just stealing, stealing cars, stealing tires, because and it's not really a big deal because people don't care. Like because they play the you've got insurance game, and that used to be a hustle. That's still kind of a hustle. People people in the suburbs swear to God they got robbed to make an insurance claim, and they didn't get robbed. They got a friend to dress up and look like they're of another they're of another race, get caught on camera, but all I see was the blacks. And they look at this part of the Mexicans, and then they take the insurance claim, bang. Let's talk about this. Let me go further with the insurance fraud. Y'all get drunk. Watch this. True story. You get drunk, take a car, run into your own house. Insurance covers. Just damage the whole house. Insurance covers. Cause you say, oh man, the car got stuck in the mud and it spun out, or my foot got caught, it got stuck in the gas pedal. It's an accident. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, say what you want. The police don't need that. But what about the violent crimes? Yeah, I'm getting there. It's a lot of assaults that don't go reported in the suburbs. It's a lot of fights. They just break it up. Nobody goes to jail unless it's like one race versus another race. Then somebody gonna go to jail. But if it's white on white, nah, they just gonna break it up. Go home, clean yourself up. Public intoxication, assault, not a big deal. You get what I'm saying? All the women who get assaulted by these guys, most of them ain't going to jail. Most of them ain't going to jail. It just happens. And I've seen that with other races too. Like, keeping it, we just gonna be quiet about it. They did it to me, but it's okay. Like I just gotta live with it. Oh, okay, this what we doing? Interesting. You know, child trafficking. It keeps happening in the suburbs. Keeps happening. You gotta watch your kids. Who you gotta watch your kids from? We don't want to talk about that because we could defund the suburban police. Because hey, serial killers running around just never get caught. Hey, no, we don't know. We don't know. Never know. The person could just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Oh, okay. What's the profile? We know what the profile is, but we just can't get you. Defund the suburban police, right? Because they could just blend in everywhere and just be, anything. And not to mention the other issues with some of the black on black crime when it's actually hate crime disguised as black on black crime. Because you notice this is going on for pretty much 100 years. Cops and racist organizations, whether it be the Ku Klux Klan, whether it be neo-Nazis, up to the Proud Boys or whatever else, whatever y'all want to rebrand yourselves as, they have these things all the time, these white nationalist groups all the time where the cops are, chummy. They starting stuff in your city. The cops gonna be the barrier. They have a parade or a rally. Cops gonna be in the middle. Cops gonna make sure nothing happens to them. But somehow they just pop up and damage everything. It's not a big deal. Same thing in Chicago. It's a holiday. In the summertime, it's a holiday. 50 people got shot at a park. 30 people got shot at a park, but nobody saw it. All the cameras in America, all the cameras in Chicago, nobody seen it. Nobody know what the car looked like. There ain't no fingerprints on the bullets. Don't nobody know who did what, but it's just blamed on gangs. Cause hey man, defund the suburban police. Cause they can't never come up with nothing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what. All the dirty cops too. Defund this, they in on it. Hey, defund the suburban cops. All the cops that like living in the suburbs and going to the hood and being scumbags and then going back to the suburbs, knowing all the crime that's in their suburb, but since we don't see no bodies, it's okay. But then when your family members get strung out and get gambling debts, get beat up other places, then it's like, hey man, you gotta clean this up. So hey man, defund the suburban police. That's why the suburbs. That's why America has been going on this downward spiral because y'all don't want to say that the suburbs have been so criminal, being getting away with so much crime from just the suburbs all the way to the college towns. That you want to talk about morality. You've been living in immorality and getting away with it, and taking that immorality from grade school or high school or college to corporate America to government positions. Constantly. And we should deal with the real crime is that, yeah. Because it's funny, like, all the drugs that come into this country, y'all talking about Venezuela had a cartel, but man, drugs are coming through on 18 wheelers, probably still, submarines, planes, barges, panels of car, import, export, all on the docks. Now y'all got these robots on the docks, so they ain't really checking nothing. Man, please. Crime is just what it is now. Stealing cars, taking them to the dock, shipping them across. But hey, man, defund. But when it's in the suburbs, it's like Ozark, baby. The show Ozark. Like, hey, man, we throw a guy off a 40 floor building, he could land in the middle of the street. Don't nobody know nothing. Like Breaking Bad, baby. Just hey, man, we just going around here. It's not a big deal. Yeah, okay. Because we all do know what a crime is, but we all do know, somehow you can only be a detective in a black neighborhood. Columbo don't work in white neighborhoods no more. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.